Hey guys, my name is Broken. It's been a long time, but I'm finally here again. Wanted to make a video about Ember Spirit since the new Dota patch just came out, well, a few days ago now, 7.07, and I wanted to talk a little bit about my thoughts on how Ember Spirit fits into the current patch, because there was only a few changes to him, um, changes to his talents, but there were also some other changes which indirectly affected him pretty harshly. And also, some of the changes to his talents have big implications for where our friend Mr. Ice Frog sees Ember going in the future and how he thinks he should be played. So first of all, the first thing to know is obviously Poor Man's Shield removed from the game. It's a pretty big deal. As you can see here, we can buy a Stout, we can buy 2 Slippers, but we ain't getting any Poor Man's Shield, and this is a this hurts mid Ember a lot, a lot. Um, Obviously, Stout Shield was buffed a little bit. You block a tiny bit more damage now if you block, um, but it's just not as good as Poor Man's Shield. It's not as much block. You don't get that 6 damage from the Agi you got with the Poor Man's Shield. You don't get that 100% block chance. It's just not the same. So I think this could almost say that it almost exclusively pushes Ember Spirit into the safe lane, where you can just go something like, Stout, Mango, Tangos,
No path.
have this kind of loadout going, maybe get a branch in there. I don't know. But for mid lane, what you do, I'm not sure. With that 300 gold, which you would have spent on Poor Man's Shield, maybe you can buy Ring of Protection. Maybe you can buy a Quelling Blade. Maybe you buy 2 Stout Shields, which some people have been doing. Maybe you buy more regen. Maybe you rush bottle faster. Maybe you just don't play Ember mid at all. We'll have to see. It definitely hurts him a lot. We'll have to see if it's still playable. The patch has only been out a few days. We'll see more as it develops, and I'll try it out a little bit more myself. I've only played a few games so far. We'll see. Moving on to the talent changes. If we look at them straight away here, the first thing you'll notice is that level 10 talent, his bonus spell amplification talent, has moved all the way up to level 20. All the way up to level 20. From like level 10, it was like here. This is a big deal. A really big deal. Because clearly it's a nerf to magical damage Ember Spirit, because magic damage Ember Spirit wanted to come online early mid-game to late mid-game, which is about when you'd hit level 10. You wanted that burst damage on your remnants, you wanted that bonus damage on your flame guard. So this hurts him quite a bit. It's a bit of an unwarranted nerf in my mind, because I don't think he was particularly overpowered or anything like that. But hey, I'm not the frog, okay? He knows what he's doing, apparently. If you look at the rest of the talents, something you'll see is with talents like True Strike and 2 Sleight of Fist charges, these are clearly geared more towards physical damage Ember Spirit. The Battle Fury build, which we all know and love. That's how I learned to play Ember. That's what I was used to. That's what my long written guide is based on. I've never updated that one to 7.0 because for me Ember never really was the same after they changed that. But hey, that's not important, okay? Right now we're talking about talents, and his talents heavily favor physical damage. These ones at least. Actually, this one as well, because I think you only go this really if you're against like PA or something like that. This sounds really weird actually. I don't know how I feel about it, because if you're against PA, when you went physical damage before, if you were against PA or Windrunner, first of all, cleave damage ignores evasion. So most of your damage is done through Sleight of Fist Battle Fury. So it wasn't that big a deal. But sometimes you would need to buy the MKB. But even then, it's bonus damage, right? It still synergizes pretty well, that MKB. They have changed MKB a bit now, so it's not quite the same. But this talent's okay, but if they don't have any sources of evasion, I mean, obviously you just go for this one. And this one's still pretty good with physical damage, because I don't know how it works now, but I'm pretty sure it at least used to work, that your spell amp also affects Battle Fury Cleave. I don't know if they've changed that, guys. I think I might remember them changing that at some point, but it at least used to, right? So spell amp would affect Battle Fury, and then you'd be doing 10% more damage on the 40% attack damage, cleave damage you do. So you wouldn't be doing 50% cleave damage. You'd still be doing 40% cleave damage, but of that cleave damage you did, it would be amplified by 10%. So that's pretty good. And also all your other spells, obviously, just getting amped up 10%. It's nice, but it comes very late, so I don't know how good this. It's not really a big spike anymore for Ember, this level 20 talent. But hey, that's how it is. So it seems like what IceFrog is trying to do is he's trying to say, hey, you can go more than one build. It's not about magic damage being better. It's not about physical damage being better. You're able to go both. So you could go something like, you know, Veil into Mjolnir, into this magic damage build like you do before. That's cool. Or you could go like Aquila into Blink into Battle Fury, and then get your Daedalus, something like that, you know? That's good as well. It depends on the game. And I really like that because variety is a good thing. Opening up more routes for like different paths, which you can do. I really like that. I'm a big fan. The problem is, I don't think it really works yet. Because physical damage Ember is still bad. And I'll tell you why I think so in just a moment. So with physical damage Ember being not so good, and with magic damage being essentially nerfed with, you know, the later amp talent, and the straight up removal of the cooldown reduction talent at level 25, so synergizes not as well with Octarine anymore. Just, you know, with all these active items, Shiva's Guard, which you buy, all your spells, obviously, it's pretty big, pretty painful blow. That being said, these are kind of two pseudo CDR talents. You like choose which spell you want to be able to use more frequently based on your build. So actually, maybe this is a really smart choice of talents. I didn't think about that. That's a nice one, because if you're going magic damage, you want more to be able to use your remnants more for damage, in which case this is really good. This is really good anyway. Like, even if you went physical damage, this is really good. But maybe with physical damage, this would be better, because you've got 2 slide charges, so you can either use slide like twice in quick succession, or what you could do is you could pace yourself a little bit more and use slide once every 3 seconds, because it's 6-second cooldown, right? Didn't it used to be 5? Am I crazy, guys? It used to be 5, right? It used to be 4, actually, didn't it? And then they made it 5 and then 6. Oh well. So you could use it once every 3 seconds, and then then use your next charge, and then wait 3 seconds, and your first charge would have replenished. Then you use it, and then wait 3 seconds, and your second charge would have replenished. So you could argue that this is a nice one, because it basically halves the cooldown on your Sleight of Fist, or you can use them in a quick burst succession. So it's a nice talent. But it is a nerf to magic damage Ember overall, which in my opinion is the only viable build style, because physical damage is still pretty trash. Why? It's nothing to do with Battle Fury, actually. Battle Fury is not a bad item. It did get changed a bit a long time ago in 7.00, but it's got slowly buffed again, and yes, the build-up is different now, but it's still pretty good. You know, Battle Fury does what it does. You cleave onto units. Let's just cleave onto this axe here. Good stuff, good stuff. It's still pretty good. See, I hit some cleave damage onto the axe. It's nice. The problem does not lie in Battle Fury, the problem lies in Sleight of Fist. If you guys remember, it will have been a long time ago now, but Sleight of Fist received a change in 7.00, the new Journey update. I'll link that one down below in the description, so you can check that out. Press Control F, type in Ember, you'll find it pretty quick. It's the only significant change to Ember from that patch. Basically, what they changed is how Sleight of Fist decides where it hits the unit from. I know it sounds a bit confusing, but here's how it used to work. When I am here and I slide these 2 units, I will perform an attack on them, right? And I could attack them from here, from here, from here, from here. You know, it's completely random. And not only the order which I attack them in, but also the direction which I attack them from. That's completely random. So what this would mean is if I attack them from here, all my cleave would go out here. From here, all my cleave would go here, and so on and so forth, right? So in a big group of people, your cleave would be going every which way, this way, that way, this way. Some would go out here, some would go out here. So some of your cleave hits would miss. You wouldn't do any cleave damage on that strike. But other of your cleave hits would cleave inwards onto the rest of the group, and it would basically average out the damage you'd be doing with cleave. So by being chaotic and RNG based, essentially, it would balance itself out, and you'd be doing consistent, reliable damage with your Sleight of Fist Battle Fury combination. And it's a bit weird that it's like consistency which relies on chaos. I know it's a bit weird. That's basically how it worked. In 7.0, how this was changed was instead of that, you now always attack them from... So if you take... I'm Ember Spirit right here, and you just draw a straight line from me to this donkey, and from me to Axe, that's the angle which I will attack them from. So I will attack donkey from here, and Axe from here. You can see that in the way that I always cleave onto that Axe, like when he's there. I don't know if you can see his health go down twice. 1, 2. You see that? If I move him here, see how his health only goes down once? And it always will, every single time. But if I move over here now, you'll see his health go down twice again. 1, 2. You see that? 1, 2. Because my cleave damage is always going this way now. And if I'm here, it's always going this way. Now, at first you might think this is a good thing, because with items like Blink Dagger, if you're a really good player, Blink Dagger, let's go crazy, let's even suggest like Force Staff, right? With your Remnants and your Blink Dagger and your Force Staff, you could like manipulate the direction in which your cleave damage goes in, because you could position yourself accordingly. Unfortunately, in actual play, this proves to not be very practical at all. It's unpractical, it's inefficient, it's... Even on a hero as mobile as Ember Spirit is, you just can't, like, in the middle of play, when you're trying to dodge stuns, you're trying to kite around enemies, position yourself for, according to other things, trying to position yourself to get the maximum potential damage output based on the arrangement of a group for a spell that has a 5-second cooldown. 6-second cooldown, my bad. It's just not feasible. It's just not efficient and practical. So what this means is that overall, when you have a big group of people, let's add some axes, you'll always be doing more damage to enemies on the back line. If you see, I'll do more damage to these guys. They're lower than these guys here. And if I go here, I'll do more damage to these guys. They're lower here. So overall, the damage you do to a group would be less reliable. Like, who would take more damage would depend on where they were standing in the group, and it just, overall, it averages itself out really poorly. It's just not as reliable. So even though they made it more consistent, where the cleave damage goes, it's now less reliable. It's one of those weird cases, and I do understand the desire to remove RNG wherever possible from the game, but I don't know if this was really necessary. I don't think anyone really had a problem with how Ember Cleave worked. But yeah, that's how it works now, guys. And because this kind of makes Battle Fury Ember really lackluster, it also affects his farming, right? Because if there's a creep wave, imagine these axes are a creep wave, right? And they're like running towards me. And I want to Sleight of Fist this creep wave to farm them. I'll do more damage to the creeps on the back. And that's going to be the ranged creep and that catapult. And I don't need to do more damage to them because I'll kill them anyway. So you farm the whole wave slower just because you... Obviously when you come up and hit them, you'll be hitting them all in the one direction. So then it's a good thing, right? But... It does affect it a little bit when you're sliding camps and when you're sliding creep waves coming towards you. It affects your farming. Just overall, it makes the whole build more underwhelming. And because physical damage Ember relied so heavily on Battle Fury, it's hard to say whether or not it'll be viable now. Because yes, you do have these talents which make it better. This is nice. This is nice. This is nice. Maybe this one solves it a bit, the lower damage output, but it comes at level 25. That's comes online really late. So I don't know. I don't know how good it is. I think it's still pretty bad. I think the magic damage build is still more consistent, more reliable, and because that was nerfed, it's basically an overall nerf to Ember Spirit in 7.07, in my opinion. Now, I've looked at Dota Buff, and a lot of professional players and high-ranking Ember Spirit players that I've seen have been experimenting with the Battle Fury Daedalus build, Blink Battle Fury Daedalus, Boots of Travel, that sort of thing. So maybe we just need to give it more time, and it's actually better than we think, right? And that could be the case. But basing it off pure mechanics, how the spells function and how they interact with each other, it's certainly not it's not back to what it was before 7.0, and it never really will be unless that change is reverted. So don't jump into a game expecting that it's gonna be the same, because it's just not. And I'm sad about that, but it's the way it is. See, I actually did a lot of damage there. They all seem kind of even and low. So you know what? You know what? I'm not sure, and it is obviously because I cleaved off him and hit them all. But we'll see, guys. I think physical damage is overall still pretty meh. Magic damage is a little bit better and more consistent, so I recommend that you pick Ember Spirit in a situation where you want to go for that magical damage build to kite people to have as much CC as possible. It would be really annoying. That's what I'd recommend. But if you guys have any revelation towards Ember Spirit that I have not made, that I have not realized, anything you want to talk about, any opinions, please put them down in the comments below. I would love to read them. I really would. This is my favorite hero in the game, and any theory crafting, any ideas you guys have about the hero, I'm really into that stuff, so please put them down in the comments below. I'd love to start a discussion. If you like this video, please do leave a like. Seeing those likes really helps motivate me to keep going with this kind of thing. Feels good. And it was a bit of a longer one today. I kind of just rambled on a bit. I don't have a script for this video. I just jumped into this and started talking about what I thought, but sorry for rambling. Sorry there wasn't much content on the screen, but if you did enjoy this, let me know. And hopefully I will see you guys in the next video. So thanks for watching, and see you later, guys.